remember that one night when we fell in love. What we had felt so right, cause we had trust. Now it's drowning in our lives. I know we're broken up, you know the feelings deep inside. So what you, what we been through, I miss you. And you can't lie, you miss me too. If I roll through.
So today is going to be a video on a myth. So without further more to say, like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on your bell post notifications so that you'll be notified every time I drop a video. Let's get into today's video. The guy who posted this video, he was basically talking about how, I guess, a rapper by the name Styles P dissed Aaliyah. And it was because Rocafella D-Block for beefing at the time. Styles P denied it. There was this guy too that tweeted on Twitter, Ricky Runs, and he just tweeted that he made up the rumor that Styles P dissed Aaliyah to make Rocafella mad. Some people recall hearing this diss in a song, and some don't. They don't remember, they don't believe that it ever existed. Let's just get into the video first.
What's a rap diss lyric that made you go?
Okay, so back in the day, the Locks was beefing with Rocafella. Shortly before all this happened, Dame Dash was dating Aaliyah. So we all know Aaliyah tragically died in a plane crash, and shortly after that, Styles P came out with a verse on a diss song where he says, rock the boat, that's one less chick in a Rocawear coat. Now, I can't find the audio nowhere. I think they stripped it off the internet everywhere, but you know, go do your research, man. Styles P crazy for that.
That's fine for you. I do that 3-4 times and can I testify for you? I told her like you, that bitch I do it. All that I'm around, you're scared to do. I'm not. As long as you joking now in for me, I ain't got it. My bitch scheming, looting, hide your body. As long as you dreaming about me, ain't no problem. I don't got nobody just with you right now. But the truth, I look better under you. I can't lose when I'm with you. How can us lose and miss the moment? You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. I can't lose when I'm with you. I can just lose and miss the moment. You just too important. Nobody do body like you do. You do. In the top tier right with you, I feel like Scarface. White bitch with the bob, I'll be your main one. Let's take this argument back up to my place.
I was watching a video, and I wasn't even watching that much of the video. It was said that he dissed Jay-Z. So I wouldn't be surprised if he dissed Aaliyah. If this is real, I can't say that it is. I feel like it could be, although there's no hard proof on the internet. If this is true, it's sad that he had to bring a female into it. And if it ever is a case like this where there are two record labels or beefing, they should always just keep it between them instead of bringing someone else into it. I don't know. This is the second time I done heard somebody done diss Aaliyah. The other time I made a video on it, it was Eminem. And then the second time, it's this guy, which I don't even know what he looks like. But when I made the Eminem video, it said that Aaliyah did address Eminem and made him apologize for that, which is real. If they did wipe it off, it doesn't exist, and so we don't have anything to go based on. But there was a lot of people dissing Aaliyah, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is real. And like I said, he's been dissing other people and Jay-Z. Aaliyah knew Jay-Z, they were friends. So it wouldn't shock me if this is true and that audio does exist, because a lot of people always say they remember certain footage from back in the day and now it's gone, it disappeared. And I believe them. I believe that these interviews and these songs, these diss songs, really do exist. And that's really weak of him to diss a female. You should never diss a female as a man. I don't care what y'all going through or what she did. You should never diss her. That's weak to me. Who would ever want to diss her? She had nothing to do with the beef that he had going on with Rocafella. But if you really think about it, Aaliyah was hanging around Damon Dash and Jay-Z. Damon was very conceited, so I'm pretty sure he had a lot of... But Aaliyah was hanging around people who were not putting her in the best situations. And I actually have a video coming of me rethinking my claims about Aaliyah and who actually killed her. I'm starting to think that it was actually Jay-Z. Like I said, if he did diss her, that's very weak. Aaliyah did not deserve that. And after hearing that Eminem dissed Aaliyah, I just don't... I'd never mess with Eminem. I would never, you know what I'm saying, mess with him as an artist anymore. And whoever this dude is, it's the same way for him, because there's no way. And what he said, and he did this after she passed away. Rock the boat, rock the boat. That's one less B in a Rocawear code. I did hear a song by him, and it did sound like this flow. A lot of people diss Aaliyah now that she's gone. No one ever has a good reason as to why they dissed her. Eminem, Styles P, anybody. Aaliyah had no problem. She had zero problems, and she made sure of that. And that's very smart of her. I personally think that not only were women jealous of Aaliyah, but men were jealous of Aaliyah too. Why? I don't know. It's very weak, but clearly she applied pressure to men as well with just being a female. You're always gonna have those people that hate on you for no reason. I just couldn't believe this when I watched it. I'm just like, another person? Really? What did she do to deserve to be dissed by a man? Allegedly he dissed her because he's beefing with Rocafella. Do I think it was a prank? No, because if it was a prank, that's an ugly prank to do. Who would play around with someone like that? You know, just think of her mother and her family and how they had to take everything after she passed away, and then you come out and you diss her saying that's one less B in the Rocawear code, allegedly. I believe that it does exist, but because it's not on the internet, it potentially got wiped out, possibly. Of course, like, no one's gonna believe it because it doesn't exist on the internet for us to hear. But I believe it because she was rocking with Rocawear. She was wearing it. She was representing it. She was hanging out with the Damon and Jay-Z. They're the ones that was representing that more than anybody. On Aaliyah, I think the only reason why she's not here today is because of what she did. You know, she was just hanging around the wrong people. Getting with Dane was not a good idea to me. The way she was moving was very loose and open, and she wasn't watching her back. She was just being blind and oblivious to what was going on behind her. And I don't think she stopped to realize, like, she was mature and she was smart and she was handling business, whatever. But she wasn't thinking about who would snake her like that, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe she did know and she just didn't say anything. But she was just too cool with snakes. And we all can point out just about who the snakes are. We can see and put two and two together to figure out who to point the finger at when it comes to being a snake to her. That could possibly be what her We Need a Resolution video is about. It's crazy how she got into snakes. Even though the song doesn't exist, the lyrics, I believe it. For one, who would make a joke like this? Who would make a prank like this? This is not a prank to make some fans, some supporters mad. It just sounds so made up. And for people to say that it didn't exist, I mean, it's a really good cover-up. Hopefully somebody has the footage or the song and they release it and throw him under the bus, because it's just been a lot of people dissing Aaliyah and her. I did a video on Terry Joe. He was talking about, you look like Aaliyah after the plane crash. Like, those jokes are really lame. And just think, like, if your parents or your sibling, your relative, parents, if they, you wouldn't want anybody talking like that towards your family. And it's very sick how the world could be. And that's just the internet for you. There's nothing that you can do about people saying very harsh things about her. It's not against the law, unfortunately. And it's just very sickening. It's not funny. A lot of people will be like, well, guess who's here and who's not? Beyonce's here and Aaliyah's not. At the end of the day, you can say what you want to say, but also at the end of the day, think of her mom. Go back and look at her funeral pictures. Look at her mother and her father's face. And then rethink what you say on the internet, because it's not funny. So I believe he said this, and it's just very sickening. I hope that this is not true. I hope that they are telling the truth and that this was a prank, some damn prank. Or it just doesn't exist and he never said it. I just really hope. But given the fact he was beefing with Jay-Z and he was beefing with Rocafella, it's very possible that he said this. And of course he would wipe it off the internet. He probably didn't want to get sued, or maybe he just didn't want Jay-Z and them coming after him. Maybe Jay-Z had that wiped out. You know how much he loved Aaliyah. Or maybe they threatened him and was like, hey, yo, take this off the internet. This ain't funny. We don't play about Aaliyah and we will handle it. And maybe he had it wiped off. Or maybe they had it wiped off. Clearly, this man is not very successful, because I don't even know who he is. For him to not even have a career is the crazy part. But you notice how allegedly there's a tape out with Pimp C and Beyonce, and allegedly that was wiped off the internet. Things could easily be wiped off the internet. So I definitely think that he did say this, and maybe it's a good thing he doesn't have a career, because it would be really weak of him, especially if he's just gonna start up a career to diss females. It's not a good look. Rest in peace to the latest and greatest, Aaliyah. She doesn't deserve half of the negative comments that she receives, and I'm gonna always be here to uplift Aaliyah's legacy and her. Although I talk about things that people don't want to touch base on, that's okay. That's not dissing her though, personally. But I'm here to tell you that Aaliyah is in a better place than we are. And no matter if she's here or not, Aaliyah will always be better than your favorite singer. And a lot of people be in the comments, they're like, A comes before B. It does. A comes before everything. So Aaliyah was number one. She was the highest, most exalted one, the best. But anyways, you guys let me know what you think. Do you think that Styles P dissed Aaliyah and that this song does exist with these lyrics in it? Let me know down below. Or do you think it was an actual prank? Because if this was a prank, it was a sick prank. And it's not something you should play about. Like, who came up with the idea to make this lyric up and be like, oh, Styles P dissed Aaliyah? That's not cute. She's gone. She lost her life. It's just stuff that just keeps coming out about Aaliyah. Negative stuff too. Like, I think Aaliyah is showing us everything. Aaliyah is showing us all the snakes that exist or ever existed. I don't even know if this man is even alive, but Aaliyah has been showing us tons. And I already knew. I was calling it before it even came out. I was like, Aaliyah gonna show us. Watch. Like a couple years later or a year later, all this stuff came out. She's showing us everything. I feel like the people she was hanging with are the ones who... Styles P, whatever his name is, he's trash. I don't even know who he is, which is a good thing. It should stay that way. I'm not even gonna look him up. I don't even want to know what he looks like. But I'm not gonna say, yeah, I definitely think it exists. It's there. I'm just saying, yeah, I believe. I do think that someone wiped it off. Could have been somebody protecting her. Could have been an op. Who knows? But anyways, that pretty much wraps it up for this crazy video. I wish people stop dissing Aaliyah. It's getting old. It's very disgusting, and God doesn't like ugly at all. And she was an angel, so I'm sure he ain't gonna play about her. So keep it cute with Aaliyah. Before I end this video, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm gonna get to it, but just in case I don't, I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys have a blessed Thanksgiving. Let me know what you're thankful for down below. Yeah, anyways, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
Do you remember